The story follows a high school girl named Shio Ogura, who leads a relatively ordinary life until an unexpected turn of events. While on a school trip to Taiwan, Shio finds herself in the midst of a battle between mysterious creatures known as Evolutionary Invasion Objects, EIOs, and a secret organization called Dogu. During this chaotic encounter, Shio discovers that she possesses a unique and powerful ability. Join us as we take a journey down this amazing series to uncover the mystery behind it. The story begins with our main character, Ogura Shio, expressing surprise and confusion about a mustache in a dream where she suddenly becomes an old man. Though she's not the old man, she has no idea about the dream. The dream sequence became perplexing to her, setting a mysterious tone in her. Ogura awakens from her dream and realizes that she's late for her trip, which was organized by her school to ensure that she has a taste of what Taiwan looks like. She interacts with her family, particularly her mom, who asks her if she forgot anything and wishes her a good trip. She was anxious about her lateness and considered it the worst day. A signal was received warning about a surveillance satellite's data related to the Bashi Strait. It's mentioned that there's an unidentified reaction moving at a certain speed, causing alarm. The scene shifts as Ogura and other students arrive in Taiwan, and they are verified. They all comment on the whiteness and rarity of the city. The students, including the escorting teacher, on a sightseeing tour in Taiwan. She acted weird on the tour. Ogura's sightseeing was different. She walked alone to the extent that other students noticed her. They expressed excitement about the sights and activities. Other students took pictures, but Ogaru did not. But the group seemed to be having fun. During their free time, Ogaru interacts with a local vendor who speaks Japanese. She wanted something to eat. She thought the man didn't speak Japanese, thinking that she'd screwed up. But the man surprised her by communicating with her using her dialect. The vendor claims that he learned it from an old man who is fond of Japan. Ogura and the vendor exchange words. Ogaru left there to sit alone on a bench. Asao spotted her and moved close to her. They discussed briefly about not being good at group activities. Asao talked about the trip and her first time in a foreign country. There's also an invitation to explore something unusual. Asao's friends wanted to view someplace, so she invited Ogura, but refused. Due to that, she took a picture with her and promised to send it to her. The story takes a dramatic turn as a UFO appears suddenly in the air. Ogura admires it, but the airplane fires in the near environment. Ogura expresses shock and confusion as they encounter this unexpected phenomenon. There's mention of someone shooting the UFO and its identification as CM-11. A barrier formed around the town, and a huge controlling machine was spotted. It's a destructive machine, its body full of attacking instruments. Several attacks were loaded onto the huge machine by the CM-11, but they were no match for it. The villagers ran for their lives after the old man's shop was fired. The Taiwanese Special Army arrived at the scene. Jack the Ripper came first in a pod, with the support of Gandhi and Newton, but they were still preparing to descend. He attacked the machine with his best skills and defeated it. Gandhi asked if he could descend to help him out, but he refused, claiming that he could defeat the powerless, huge machine. Meanwhile, there are hundreds of them. That huge one is just a forerunner, leading the others to their path. Asao's friend passes by Ogura, and she notices that Asao is not with them. She asks them about her whereabouts, and since they could not give her a good response, she went in search of her. After Jack sliced the machine into two, another hurt him from behind. He immediately contacted Gandhi to come to his rescue. He looks at his back and finds out that they are more than him, and he is already hurt, so swinging his sword will be more difficult. In her search, Ogura finds Asao, where she is lying helpless. Though she's still breathing, she can't move. Ogura moves in her direction to help her so they can escape, but she encounters Jack face to face. Jack calls her a civilian and advises her to escape, but she is determined to help her new friend. During the discussion, Jack was attacked and severely injured. Though he killed the ones that attacked him, he could not retain his form, so he became conscious. Ogura recognizes the E-Gene ball with Jack. She takes it, and the energy within her refills the balls above expectations. She was a reincarnated being. The inner power in her was that of a nobleman called Nobunaga. The core within her produces the man's weapon, which is a gun. Jack was so surprised to see it. She wreaks havoc on the enemy as instructed from within her. The invaders continue attacking the villagers, while Ogaru, in the form of Nobunaga, keeps dealing with them severely. She ordered Jack to protect Asao in all ways, and she will try to keep the enemies busy through her fire. She keeps to her promise of keeping the enemy busy, so they seem to overwhelm her. Eventually, her fires did not penetrate the enemies again, and she wondered what the cause was while Jack started yelling at her. Their teacher came to the rescue of both Asao and Ogura, but he saw something different. His yelling made one of the invaders attack him, but Newton, who was contacted to rescue Jack the Ripper, clashed with it and crushed it down with her leg. Gandhi also appears behind them. They both came to rescue their co-member Jack, but they found out they needed to support Nobunaga in the fight to ensure victory. They all run for their lives with Asao in Jack's hand, but they are all trapped by the invaders. They strategize themselves. Gandhi was told to keep Jack and Asao safe in a tower, but he refused. Nobunaga was furious, and promised to do something she couldn't say. The army put all their effort into rescuing the survivors. Newton energizes Nobunagun so that her fire can penetrate the enemies. Her strength was renewed, and she screwed up her enemies. She was given an idea of the full potential she was putting on. The real man named Nobunagun was talking from the inside, giving her tips on what to do and how to be in full control of the weapon with her. Making use of a super skill called Nobunagun 3-line volley, it was massacred on the invader's side, and she performed wonderfully well. While the team cared about her undefined skills, she cared about Asao's well-being. The analysis came out that she took out 202 invaders at a time. Shortly after, in the enemy camp, a high level of heat was detected, which was coming from John the Ripper. The heat increased in mass, and it was evolving like a balloon, while the whole team was busy thinking about how to prevent it from blowing off one of the invaders that is yet to die flying in the air toward the balloon to pop it. Newton and Gandhi tried their possible best to prevent it, but they couldn't. At last, it blew off, and that caused massive destruction to the whole environment. Ogura was kept in a curious state. She was worried over and over again about Asao, and she was not able to help her. However, she is now the new Nobunaga, but reincarnated. A screen and a voice came behind her, congratulating her and giving an insight into her newfound character. The voice told her about their enemy, the evolutionary invasion object, and that it knew that they would come to that current planet. The voice explains further that he extracted the genes of distinguished individuals, enriched them, and left them for future generations. It explains further that the only weapon that can match the object they're fighting against is an AU weapon. The voice asks for her help by giving her all to the mission and surrendering herself, but it may cause her to leave the life she has been building for herself. After all this summary and explanation, the screen fades off, and Ogura is lost in thoughts on what to do. Although it was a manipulation by the evolutionary invasion objects because they need her power, the power of Oda Nobunagun living inside of her is the key they need to meet their fate on that planet. They also went as far as to manipulate the whole world, using the name Dogu. It was introduced to the world as a supranational organization that was established behind closed doors in preparation for bad days. They manipulated the minds of many about the event in Taiwan. This reveals to the world that the only weapon that can counter the objects is that people can hasten her decision to join the team. Since that presentation, she has walked in here thinking that many people will need her help. Ogaru went to visit her friend Asao in the hospital. After getting there, they both watched a TV presentation about the event in Taiwan and the solution the Dogu organization is presenting to the world. Asao was happy that they were back in their motherland in Japan, but Ogaru didn't show interest in that. When asked about her well-being, Asao replied that she should be out at the hospital by the next week. She was thankful to Ogaru. Ogaru was curious. She asked about the invitation, and Asao expressed her feelings to her since their first year in school, when she was pretending to read a textbook but was reading a book about tanks. She was perplexed about that and tried to deny it, but Asao still loved her act. A TV show talking about the evolutionary invasion objects. The guests didn't know much about them, but the knowledge they had was based on the information given by the Dogu organization. He explains that they have been present on Earth for like 10 years, travel on a tiny meteorite, and land in the Pacific Ocean. They process a cell that evolved to take an appropriate form that suits the environment. An illustration was given to the viewers by a diagram, and it was explained that they are currently in the form of a fish, but before long after, they will develop into an amphibian and a reptile, and they aim to invade the land. Asao was amazed to hear that there were monsters from the outer world on their planet. During their discussion, the image of Ogura popped up on the TV to advertise her and her special skills. The presenter on TV asked for her help, saying that she would be needed in the Dogu organization, but it was voluntary. She started shivering. Asao noticed that and asked if she could turn the TV off, but she refused, saying that she was okay. Many people in Japan started giving their point of view and why she should help them. She made up her mind to go, though she was afraid. Explained to Asao her reason for living. She told her about the sacrifice of the other E-gene holder, yet Asao was still thankful to her and encouraged her to make a decision. She walked out diligently from the hospital with several escorts. Reporters needed to hear from her but were declined while she walked straight to the car. Honorably, she received the picture via mail from Asao. The scene reveals the facts behind the E-gene. The E-gene contains the genes of various abilities of distinguished individuals. The inheritors of those genes are called the E-gene holders, and they use AU balls to summon the ability to sleep within them and embody AU weapons. The E-gene holders belong to an organization called the Dogu organization, and they're battling with enemies from outside space known as evolutionary invasion objects. Ogura was transported by air to the Dogu organizations. The head of the organization meant that if she passed the trial, then she'd be used in a battle, but if she didn't, she couldn't be used. She was driven in a car to an uncommon place. The driver left her there, and she was in a panic, not knowing that the assessment had begun. The evolutionary evolutionary object appeared in the dark, and she was given the E-Gene ball to form the AU weapon. She energized the ball and formed her favorite weapon, the gun. She started aiming at the object, but she couldn't hit it. She was attacked by the sharp part of the object, and she fell unconscious. She heard a voice telling her her score point was 0. Immediately, she awakened. She was at the Dogu training facility. Saint-Germain, one of the Dogu messengers, was summoned by the examiner to know if the digital data recorded about the girl was correct. The examiner was selected by the commander to take care of Ogura's education, and he gladly accepted it because he was being paid for it as an agent. Saint Gemma moved close to Ogaru to apologize for his previous action, but she slapped him. The examiner was not surprised at her action. He introduced himself as Robert Kappa, which means war photographer. She was told that the real training would start the next day. She was offered a room to have a lovely night's rest. She thought of taking a picture and sending it to her mom. She also wondered about Asao, if she had been released from the hospital, but she realized there was no signal in the environment. She found out that personal communication is restricted in the Dogu administration zone. She yelled at Saint-Germain and referred to herself as a modern high school girl, but she was informed that she was now a Dogu member. She went back to her room, pissed off, and started punching the pillows and bed. The next morning, she woke up thinking about her main reason for being in the Dogu administration zone. She viewed the surroundings through the window. Saint-Germain threw a chalk at her while Robert Kappa yelled at her to get dressed and come down for the day of training. She was placed in the middle of the sea by her trainer to aim at aquatic attackers. She prepared her rifle and shot. When she got one of the targets, she was excited. But her trainer told her not to get excited because the job of a shooter class holder is to aim enemies at range, meaning she needs to get them down before they are close. She was also trained to run. She asked why that was part of her training. She was told she needed to use her body to fight even though she was powerful. Several physical training sessions went on and on. After some time, she was told that she needed to take classroom studies. She asked for some rest, but she was told several times that the commander had high hopes for her. She was being taught digitally about the elementary part concerning the AU weapons, but she needs to concentrate. She was offered break time just like the school life she thought about those days in school. Later in the night, she sneaks out of her room to find an antenna, so she makes calls or sends messages. While on the run to the antenna side, she came across a place of different kinds of airplanes, fell in love with them, and took pictures. While taking pictures, a troop of soldiers appeared to her in excitement. Harold S. Conway saluted her. He is the second lieutenant in the U.S. Air Force. Others also saluted, mentioning their origins. Ogura was concerned about why they were from different countries. Harold explained to her that they conduct ocean observation and special duty at the base. He also told her that they supply Alex Logan. She was curious to see what that could be. She was taken to the unit with joy and pride. It's a place where a special plane named WC-130J is stored, and it's meant for hurricane hunters. Something struck her mind. She remembered she couldn't find anyone in the cafeteria, so she asked Harold why, but she was told that E-Gene holders are VIPs and are not allowed to mingle with each other. The next day, she started her daily routine, training, and classroom studies. The U.S. Air Force joined her at the cafeteria as promised the last time of their meeting. She was encouraged by them. Her next training is to make use of the Nobunagun skill on the field. Robert suggested that she make use of Nobunaga instead of Nobunagun. She saw it as a good idea. Robert told her that the soldiers were a shield to her. She was amazed. In the battlefield against the evolutionary invasion objects, the E-Gene holders are the most important in the battle, so they need to be protected. The trainer used his Nicole S camera to take her picture and cloned 6 of her to make them the enemies of that day's training. She was being put in a new environment to anchor that training. The trainer taught her the fact of aiming. The training was rough for her because she could not get it well, but she's improving. The soldiers were preparing to leave. They waved at her continuously, and she waved back. The Air Force passes through Mexico in a storm zone named Hurricane Olga. They were shot down during the hurricane. Immediately, Ogura and Kappa were informed, and she was filled with fear and trembling. They all panicked at the base. They received a signal that Hurricane Olga was approaching Florida. An image of the object was captured by the satellite. The shadow resembles an invasion object, and the analysis was confirmed by the Air Force Army before they were destroyed. The invasion object intended to ride the hurricane as it made its way inland. Preparations were made for the landing of the hurricane. Roberts was curious about Ogura's play. It was revealed that the real name of Robert Kappa is Mr. Amish. He explains that Ogura's skill is undefined, but she still can't defeat an opponent, so she's unfit for war. The commander declared that they would need another holder, but the real one who runs the evolutionary invasion object insists that no matter what, they need a shooting class holder. Ogura is pressured and worked out, so she walks into the bathroom to take a shower, half naked, and she was perplexed. She asked after Jack's well-being. She explains the current situation to Jack and how the hurricane hunters gave their lives to provide a signal, but Jack is not interested in her conversation because he didn't expect that. The E-Gene holders are all dressed up and meet at the port. The dress looks weird to Ogura, She wore black attire. They kick off to the storm zone in a helicopter, which is 180 kilometers ahead of them. Jack and Ogura were given knowledge about the object. The object uses its pectoral fins to fly at high speed in the wind. Kappa gives insights that they would prefer to fight on water, but on the Floridian Peninsula, the only chance they've got is to snipe and aim the enemy from the helicopter. She was introduced to Galileo, who will be the spotter in the mission. She greeted her, but her actions seemed weird to her. Galileo will be the one to predict the enemy's movement, while Nobunaga will be the one to snipe the enemy down. The enemy Jack saw its hugeness and knew that the new training E-Gene holder would not be able to do anything. Jack was also assigned to a position in the mission, and Ogura used the chance of his injury to mock him. Galileo gave them her last analysis. She noticed that the object was carrying a large number of eggs. Jack knew it planned to scatter the egg over the surface of the Earth so that it could spawn a species that could live on land. If they hit the object, it will still scatter the egg over the ocean, and the way you treat them, even some, will make it to the land. If it happens, there will be a hurricane disaster because they will not be able to destroy all the eggs before they hatch. So Ogura was tested to kill the object with one shot, leaving no chance for the egg to scatter at all. She was given a pinpoint to target in the autopsy of an inversion object, which the headquarters has carried out. She became restless, and then the head of the organization encouraged her with sweet words. The enemy is fast approaching. It will get them in 240 seconds. They all get prepared with their AU weapons. Galileo inputs an out-to-in cord so that she can transmit visual scope. Ogura remembers her last battle while trying to save her friend. She knows it's not an easy task, but she must get it right. She panics over and over again while the enemy keeps approaching them. The inner man in her started taking action. She showcased it physically by dancing. They wondered what she meant to do. She heeded her inner man and went into the wind to take an offensive attack. The headquarters was informed about her action. To come into contact with the object, there were only 20 seconds left. She rode in the wind just like the object and got a direct shot at it. After the shot, they noticed that the invasion object is unharmed, and at the head, it is just a transporter. The object was patched together, and the second object was to release the eggs. She decided to shoot at the eggs, but she was told to leave the eggs and shoot at the object. She did have command, but the thing on the object's head was hard. Bullets could not penetrate. Jack intervenes by using his audible weapons to slash the object head into two. 12 eggs were released, and they needed to be destroyed before they hit the ground. Jack held Ogura's hand downward to destroy it together. Jack needed her help because of her super skill, which is 3-line volleyball. Galileo gives them direction through her analysis, and they hit the eggs one by one. Jack and Ogura fell into the sea with the objects they destroyed. The masters of the invasion objects thought of another plan that could benefit them. Ogura texted her dear friend Asao about her day's activity. Jack, whose real name is Adam Muirhead, goes back to his real position, which is the 2nd platoon. Ogura was also appointed to the 2nd platoon along with Jack. The commander contacted Robert Kappa to know what he thought about our decision. Robert thought it was a bad idea, but since her thinking strategy was unparalleled, she was placed on a combat team instead of a sniper team so that she could prove her worth. The base of her stationary is Alex Logan. Picture of the beautiful place condemned her. As they arrived at the base, she stayed behind and admired the place. Jack immediately beamed at her. She met with the other E-Gene holders, Gandhi and Newton, and they exchanged pleasantries. Gandhi's real name is Mahesh Mirza, while Newton's is Jess Beckham. On the enemy side, they were upset at Jack. He destroyed 4 major points of the object, as analyzed by John Hunter. The mastermind of the object expressed his own will. Ogura was told about the 3 strongholds the Dogu organization has, which are Alex Logan, George Atsumi, and Stephen Hiller. The only one on special duty is Clayton Forrester. The platoons of holder combatants are stationed on each cruiser. Each platoon consists of 3 holders. The first platoon is unknown as to why the second platoon consists of Jack, Newton, and Gandhi. Each platoon patrols the Pacific Ocean when an evolutionary invasion object appears, and the coolest of them descends to fight. Galileo returned to the headquarters, where she met with John Hunter, who always referred to her as Galiko. She gave him his favorite, which is a Japanese bread with baked noodles on it. Vidocq requested to see Galiko's observation during the Taiwan battle, and also requested to see the recording of the 6th platoon. Gandhi gave Ogura a tour of the facility in the Alex Logan. After the tour, she was tired, and Gandhi offered her his room to rest. The commander at the headquarters contacted Vidocq to learn about his developing plans and updates. He informed them that the object could transmit information with his newfound way of building them. The battle in Taiwan was a flashback. They used that analysis to carry out operations on how to develop the new idea. Ogura continually checked Sao's picture on her phone from time to time. She was uncomfortable. She went around to look for the internet, but she couldn't. She took the tape of her attack the last time, trying to figure out something. While she was doing that, Newton showed up behind her, and she was startled. Ogura was curious. She asked about the effect of the E gene so that she could know if she's changed or normal. The second platoon was summoned to gather in Clayton Forrester urgently. The road by air was where she was able to meet Galileo. They both conversed together. Ogura engages in playful banter and discussions about growing up. Newton and Galileo join the conversation. The tone remains friendly and informal. The focus shifts to a military-style operation against the Easter Eagles and capturing the invaders' brain cells. There's a mention of limited resources and the need to cooperate. Nobunaga is assigned a specific role in the operation, and some others express hesitation or surprise at their roles. The operation begins, and there's excitement as the holders target an armored type of invader. Artillery fire is initiated, and the holders take action according to their assigned roles. The holders chase the invaders and attempt to capture a specific target. The story implies that the invaders have a unique method of preserving their memories and are evolving, posing a potential threat to humanity. A discussion ensues about the invaders' ability to store memories and rapidly evolve. There's concern that these objects could eventually replace humanity if their evolution continues at its current pace. The story takes a turn as the setting shifts to a secluded mountain research center. At this unique location, a group of characters, including the protagonist, gathers, marking a reunion. The characters arrive at this mountain research center, which carries an air of secrecy and intrigue. It becomes evident that someone within this group possesses a significant secret, setting the stage for potential revelations later in the story. The plot then transitions to an aerial expedition in Alaska, led by Alex Logan from a faction called Tiger. While the primary objective involves an invasion sample, the story does not initially provide specific details about this mission. As the holders who are on the combat team engage in conversations and interactions, a new member, Nobunagun, is introduced to the group. The arrival of the new member, Nobunagun, adds an interesting dynamic to the group. This newcomer is placed in the second platoon, and there's a mix of rivalry and curiosity surrounding their role, as the second platoon is perceived as less dependable than the first platoon. Additionally, it's disclosed that Nobunagun wields a sniper rifle, sparking more interest and questions about their abilities. While the group engages in conversations and interactions, an unexpected event unfolds. As their aircraft traverses through the turbulent skies, a fierce blizzard engulfs the surroundings, severely hampering visibility and casting doubts on the success of their mission. The combat team becomes deeply worried about their ability to complete their objectives. Amidst these harsh weather conditions, an even more critical problem arises. Communication devices begin to fail. The once reliable lifeline to their command center now ceases to function. The team, including our protagonist, finds themselves in a dire situation, stranded in the unforgiving cold of winter with no way to contact their headquarters. The blizzard's unrelenting onslaught further intensifies their predicament. They must now find a way to cope with this unexpected adversity and hopefully devise a plan to salvage their mission and safety in these harsh conditions. In their relentless struggle against the unforgiving environment, the group sets out to find aid. Their urgent quest for assistance becomes a matter of life and death. Amidst the blinding whiteness of the blizzard, they come across a mysterious figure named Gonda, who braves the same treacherous weather conditions, unfazed by the elements. The E-gene holders step forward, revealing themselves as members of Dogu. This revelation is nothing short of astonishing, as it raises profound questions about the true nature of their mission and the very existence of the formidable, evolving invaders. The encounter with the Dogu member not only piques their curiosity, but also instills a newfound sense of urgency. The mystery of the evolving invaders deepens, leaving the characters to grapple with a growing sense of unease and apprehension. They must now navigate this intricate web of secrets and revelations to uncover the truth behind their perilous journey and the existence of the invaders that threaten humanity's very survival. As the storm rages relentlessly outside, the team can't help but grow suspicious of their newfound acquaintance. The situation begins to weigh heavily on their minds, especially as the harsh weather conditions seem never-ending. Their discussions give rise to deep concerns and a lingering doubt emerges. Could there be a concealed truth about the presence of the evolving invaders in these desolate, snowy mountains? Tensions among the group escalate as the chilling reality dawns upon them. They start to wonder if their enigmatic companion has somehow been affected by the invaders. The fear and paranoia became palpable, overshadowing their efforts to seek shelter and survive the ordeal. With each passing moment, the unsettling sensation of being trapped in a nightmare looms over the team, as they wrestle with the dark possibility of their new ally harboring the influence of the invaders. The blizzard outside might not be the only threat they face, and the true nature of this chilling encounter remains shrouded in an ominous fog of uncertainty. While they're fighting Gonda, they find out that he is a monster hunter, so he's interested in hunting the monster they are transporting. On that mountain, they feed on the monster. After Gonda left the princess and the other holder, he went after the plane, which they used to transport the monster. Gertie came out of the plane. His mind was not at rest because he had not seen the others who went in search of shelter, but he found out that there was a snowmobile in their direction, so he called for help immediately. He created a defensive wall, but later, he couldn't find the mobile. Gonda threw an explosive bomb at the plane. He was trying to hunt the monster, but he became haunted by it. Since Gonda has released the monster, it is capable of hunting anybody. E-Gene holders fight and conquer the monster. After the mission, they fly back to their safe zone, chilling and chatting on the plane. A sudden twist in the story unfolds as an evolutionary invasion force is detected approaching Panama. The US Navy, having already experienced significant losses, makes a critical decision not to deploy their genetic folders, which are their ultimate defense. This choice adds to the tension of the situation as the evolutionary invasion force draws closer to its destination. The stakes scenario sets in for a challenging and unpredictable confrontation, creating a sense of urgency and danger for the US forces and the Navy. As the story progresses, the forces must grapple with this new threat and find a way to combat the evolutionary invasion force without the use of their most powerful resource, the genetic folders. The situation becomes even more complex and intense as the invasion force approaches Panama, leaving the soldiers and Navy with a daunting challenge ahead. The story continues as the forces are being attacked continually. An intriguing turn takes place with the introduction of the resurrected battleship, Musashi Wonder. This enigmatic vessel raises several critical questions that drive the plot forward. First and foremost, the second platoon is left pondering why the evolutionary invasion force is specifically targeting this historical warship. The significance of Musashi Wonder and its connection to the invaders becomes a central focus. Moreover, the Dogu organization grapples with the mystery of how the evolutionary invasion force seems so intimately familiar with Musashi Wonder. The battleship's historical context is well known, and it was famously sunk near Japan during World War II. The invaders' ability to resurrect it and their intent to use it is perplexing. These questions surrounding Musashi Wonder add depth and complexity to the story, urging the commander and the E-Gene holders to delve into the invaders' motivations and capabilities. The enigmatic battleship serves as a symbol of the invaders' extraordinary powers and knowledge. This makes the whole Dogu organization curious about the invaders' true purpose and the mysteries that surround this formidable warship. As the story progresses, unraveling the secrets behind Musashi Wonder and its role in the invasion becomes a central challenge for the commander and the Dogu organization as a whole, intensifying the intrigue and suspense in the midst of the situation. The E-Gene holders and their team face a formidable showdown with Musashi Wonder and a fleet of invasion squadrons. This pivotal moment is marked by high-stakes action and strategic planning to make a successful defeat of the Musashi Wonder. Musashi Wonder emerges as a massive, resurrected battleship under the control of the evolutionary invasion force. Its sheer size and power pose a significant threat. The presence of the invasion squadrons only amplifies the danger, as the heroes find themselves outnumbered and outgunned. In response to this dire situation, the holders come together hand in hand with Vidocq to devise a well-thought-out plan to target the core of Musashi Wonder. This core is the key to the battleship's operation, and disabling it is their best chance to stop the invaders. Nobunagun volunteered to take out the core with her special skill. Amid the intense battles and under the banner of coordinated teamwork, the E-Gene holders deploy their AU weapons. Newton and Jack join the shooting squadron, Nobunagun, which carries the responsibility of taking down Musashi Wonder's core since she's being captured. This choice showcases the trust and confidence the team has in Nobunagun's abilities and skills. After the intense battle with Musashi Wonder and the invasion objects, the E-Gene holders' combat team returns to their base, remarkably unscathed. It's a moment of relief for the team as they escape the confrontation without any recorded injuries. This near-miraculous outcome highlights the team's proficiency and underscores their ability to work together cohesively. However, as they settle back into their base, an emotional revelation shakes the team to its core. The discovery that the core of Musashi Wonder contains the memories of its crew confronts the team with a profound moral dilemma. The memories make the powerful battleship seem more human, and this makes them wonder if it's right to destroy it. The situation becomes perilous as the team grapples with their newfound understanding. They are faced with a decision that goes beyond the immediate threat of the evolutionary invasion. It's a moral crossroads where they must decide the fate of Musashi Wonder, and by extension, the lives and memories it holds. This revelation complicates the black and white perspective they had initially held toward their mission. It forces them to weigh the importance of eliminating a potential threat against the ethical implications of extinguishing the memories and remnants of those who served aboard Musashi Wonder. Vidocq and the Dogu organization face a new challenge. They must figure out why the Evolutionary Invasion Force suddenly shows up in the Atlantic Ocean. Vidocq starts investigating and trying to understand the path these invaders have taken. One crucial hypothesis is about their route. It appears that the invaders failed to land in Taiwan, and they got this information from an electrode discovered earlier. Both Vidocq and the commander work hard to decode this data, which reveals marine life patterns that might help them understand the invaders' movements. They analyze the data carefully to find any possible faster routes these invaders might have taken. While they keep thinking, considers the idea of an underground tunnel as the secret behind their rapid advancement. This underground tunnel would let them move from one side of the continent to the other without being seen. As they investigate, they discover several high-possibility points where this tunnel might exist. This is their new mission, where they will explore these points and seek to uncover the tunnel's location. The mystery surrounding the Evolutionary Invasion Force's route becomes a central focus, and the team's quest to uncover the truth takes them on a new and challenging adventure. The first platoon of E-Gene holders went on a mission to investigate the tunnels. During their mission to investigate the mysterious appearance of the Evolutionary Invasion Force, the platoon members delve deep into a network of tunnels. These tunnels seem to go on endlessly, and with every turn, they encounter more tunnels and an array of small, enigmatic rooms. As the platoon explores these underground passages, they come across clues that suggest human activity in these tunnels. It becomes apparent that someone or something has been present in these hidden locations. These findings raise intriguing questions about what might be concealed or protected within these underground chambers. The organization as a whole is left to ponder the significance of these tunnels and the potential secrets hidden within them. Are these tunnels connected to the Evolutionary Invasion Force's presence, or is there another layer to this puzzle that they have yet to uncover? The small rooms, which bear traces of human activity, add an element of intrigue and uncertainty to the mission, compelling the team to dig deeper into the mystery. Their quest becomes a combination of uncovering the purpose of these tunnels and understanding the connection between these underground chambers and the Evolutionary Invasion Force. As the holders proceed through the extensive tunnels, they suddenly detect a looming and formidable presence. The atmosphere becomes charged with anticipation as they brace themselves for a potentially fierce battle within the depths of these mysterious underground passages. With the stakes higher than ever, the second platoon receives a summons for assistance to aid the other E-Gene holders who are already navigating the tunnels. This call to action highlights the unity and unwavering determination of the team. The members of the second platoon understand the gravity of their mission and the need to support their fellow E-Gene holders in the face of an unknown and ominous threat. However, this intense situation also exposes the underlying tensions within the team, particularly in their interactions with the first platoon. The division between the two platoons becomes apparent as they navigate the treacherous tunnels, seeing the complexities and rivalries that often arise in high-stress situations. One notable point of contention revolves around Vidocq's decision not to visit Galileo, who had been injured earlier in the mission. This decision highlights the strained relationships and conflicting priorities within the team. Vidocq's focus on the mission and the urgency of analyzing the invaders clash with the concerns of his comrades, who express genuine worry for Galileo's well-being. The tension between these perspectives underscores the challenges and moral dilemmas they face in their line of work. Amidst the uncertainty and tensions, the team's unity is tested. Their readiness to confront the unknown object and their determination to succeed in the face of adversity continue to be exemplified. The impending battle in the tunnels promises to be a critical moment for the team's cohesion and their ability to overcome the challenges posed by the Evolutionary Invasion Force. Nobunagun's empathy towards Galileo becomes a central point of tension within the team. She is determined to understand the situation and provide support for her injured comrade, showing her compassionate nature. Her desire to connect with Galileo reveals the depth of her empathy, even in the midst of their intense mission. This empathy and concern for their fellow holders led to a tense exchange with the members of the first platoon. They questioned Nobunagun's priorities, highlighting the differences in their perspectives. While the first platoon may prioritize the overall mission and the urgency of dealing with the invaders, Nobunagun emphasizes the importance of caring for their injured teammate. The clash of these viewpoints underlines the complexities and rivalries that can arise in high-pressure situations. It also showcases the diverse personalities and priorities within the team, adding depth to their characters and interactions. The tension escalates as they grapple with these conflicting priorities. However, their discussions are interrupted by a significant revelation. The commander will be taking direct command of the upcoming operation. This revelation underscores the mission's critical importance, as the commander's direct involvement signifies the gravity of the situation. Ultimately, the commander's direct command serves as a powerful reminder of the mission's significance, uniting the team in their shared goal of confronting the evolutionary invasion force. The upcoming operation promises to be a pivotal moment as they all grapple with their differences and strive to overcome the impending threat. The team faces the evolved invasion object, a formidable adversary. Nobunaga's role becomes pivotal as she collaborates closely with her fellow team members to take down this menacing threat. The team's strategy focuses on targeting the enemy's arms, which are used for attack. By neutralizing these arms, they aim to incapacitate the main body of the evolved invasion object. Nobunaga, working as part of the shooting squad, plays a crucial role in executing this strategy. This battle exemplifies the team's unity and collective effort. They must work together seamlessly to take down their powerful opponent. The coordination and synergy between the team members are essential for their success. As they engage in combat, the stakes are high and the pressure is palpable. The team's members bring their unique skills and hero weapons into play, demonstrating their unwavering determination to overcome the threat of the evolved invasion object. Amid the chaos of battle, the team makes a startling discovery. They realize that the true target of the evolved invasion object is Creighton Forrester. It becomes clear that the enemy has managed to infiltrate Creighton Forrester itself, raising the stakes and intensifying the urgency of their mission. The team must now not only confront the external threat, but also deal with the internal breach. Some confusion and hesitation emerge within the team. They must grapple with the unexpected twist in their mission, which adds a sense of unpredictability to their actions. However, their unwavering commitment to their mission ultimately prevails. Driven by their determination to protect Creighton Forrester and eliminate the threat, the team makes strategic decisions to address the situation. The battle culminates with the commander's decision to temporarily withdraw the team. This call to retreat and regroup underscores the uncertainty and formidable challenges they face. It also serves as a moment of respite, allowing them to reevaluate their approach, gather more information, and prepare for the next phase of their mission. The story's tension and suspense are heightened as the team faces the unknown and an evolving adversary, making the reader eager to see how they will overcome these obstacles in the upcoming events. There's mention of Jiraiya, indicating a moment of shock and concern. Ogura wonders about the situation and expresses their confusion. Next, they find themselves in Japan, and the character Sanzilman is introduced. The protagonist, Shio-chan, expresses disbelief and confusion, leading to a series of repetitions as they try to make sense of the situation. The dialogue establishes that the invasion involves different types of creatures, such as Kuhei, Jirai, and Senkan, each with unique characteristics. Clayton Forrester has been neutralized. Nobunaga played a significant role in this. The injured characters, including Nobunaga, are safe and recovering. Shio is in Japan, and Asao, a nurse, cares for them. They discuss the invasion and its impact on humanity. The conversation hints at the invaders' evolutionary goals and their relation to inorganic animals. The protagonist expresses gratitude for being saved. The team discusses the invasion further and the need to destroy the invaders' stored original cells to limit their future strategies. There's mention of different platoons and a pending operation. Then, a mysterious structure diagram of a tunnel is introduced, along with contact animals that play a crucial role in the invaders' activities. The team's plan involves targeting the battleship-type invaders and using the 9th Platoon. As the operation looms closer, a resounding call to action resonates through the base. They feel the weight of impending urgency as they ready themselves for the crucial mission ahead. Their determination surges, but they are aware of the formidable foes awaiting them. The challenges intensify when they encounter a hostile enemy presence in Tashichi. The unexpected enemy forces in the area become a looming threat, further fueling the sense of urgency and apprehension. Moreover, the potential reinforcement issue emerges, raising concerns about whether they'll have the support they need to tackle the impending operation successfully. These simultaneous challenges emphasize the complex nature of their mission, intensifying their preparations and resolve. The story shifts to a conversation about Ogura's efforts to help those injured by the invasion. Asao-san is praised for her dedication as a nurse, and Ogura reflects on her actions. They also discuss communication challenges and the significance of their friendship. The story leads to an evacuation invasion alert, and there's a sense of impending danger. Characters react to the situation, and Asao-san encourages Shio-chan to help those in need. Asao-san's kindness is acknowledged, and the story reveals the existence of a hero ball, a crucial element in the narrative. A battle ensues, and Shio-chan's determination and abilities shine as she fights to protect others. An effect pod is introduced indicating the dangerous nature of the invaders. The story ends with a sense of relief as Ogura awakens and Jack hunts for further development. The segment begins with a conversation about Himiko-sama and someone being left alone. It hints at a connection between characters and mentions a meeting. The characters express a desire for help, and the story transitions to a discussion about crossing the Frank Kingdom. She learns that she has been asleep for 300 years, and the Frank Kingdom is their birthplace. A mysterious person named Sangelman is introduced, and there's a brief exchange with the protagonist. The discussion turns to searching for a suitable bloodline and inheriting the soul of a warrior. The story touches on the characters' long slumber and their realization that someone remembers them. They discuss the ruler of the country at the protagonist's birth and the need to fight against this person. Amidst the unfolding events, a palpable tension grips the characters. They grapple with the grave consequences of the bloodthirsty ruler's actions, aware of the need to thwart them. This threat casts a shadow of unease over their mission. The holders engage in conversations that touch on the concepts of time and change. It's a contemplation of the passage of centuries, highlighting the vast temporal gulf between them and the ruler they must confront. They realize the weight of time's influence on their world. They begin to embrace a human life, departing from their previous existence. This transformation signifies a crucial evolution, shedding their old identity for a new human one. The protagonist bears an essential message which injects urgency into the situation. It's a moment of intense preparation and anticipation as they ready themselves for a significant impending battle. The weight of responsibility and the magnitude of the challenge ahead is keenly felt by all. The characters discuss the tunnel battle, battleships, and the need to use equipment to protect human lives. The protagonist questions the commander's actions, and there's an exchange regarding a potential escape plan. The story highlights the strategic importance of the upcoming battle and the need to change the enemy's course. The protagonist suggests using their abilities to alter the outcome of the conflict. There's a conversation about the battlefield and the strategies in place. The characters prepare for battle, and there's a mixture of humor and tension. The commander took a step to bring all the E-Gene holders together in the base. She laid out the plan they'd employ and how it would work. They had a total of 11 E-Gene holders when combining the 1st and 2nd platoons. Among them, Nobunaga held a special place in the Dogu administration zone due to her achievements. The meeting was crucial for them to understand the strategy and their roles in the upcoming mission to protect their world. As Nobunaga has laid down herself to go alone for the plan, the distraction you stated is meant for only one holder, as she has told the organization. The battle began with the help of many tanks by the forces. Nobunaga plays a crucial role in the strategy. She happens to be the one to open the fire first because she needs to get the attention of the enemy. The strategic plan involves the help of Kappa and Newton, though the plan is not meant for only one. It is meant for all the E-Gene holders. What Nobunaga proposed is that only one holder should be on the battlefield while others are stationed in orderly areas to ensure that infant enemies do not invade the land. While they are stationed in different areas, they all perform wonderfully well to make sure that the infant enemies do not invade the land. Nobunaga continues to open fire on the enemy at her front. Nobunaga's plans involved all the Dogu organization zones. They were stationed up to drop pods on the enemy and surround it. Everything went as planned. Nobunaga has proposed a huge invasion object to grab the pods. She revealed a reason for the pods. As the battle goes extremely heavy, you need to get the wiki point of the invitation object to know where to attack and to ensure profit in the effort. The usefulness of the pod is to determine the tentacles of the object so that the army tanks can fire straight at those points. The military unit tasked with dealing with the enemy tentacles recognized and praised Nobunaga's skills and intelligence. They were genuinely impressed by her tactical wisdom, even though she was just a young girl. This acknowledgement was a testament to her capabilities on the battlefield. To ensure the success of the mission, the outcome of their attack was promptly relayed back to their base. It was crucial to keep everyone informed of their progress and the situation on the battlefield. Following their plan, Nobunaga moved closer to the massive enemy to engage it directly. To avoid potential harm or injury during this dangerous maneuver, the Air Force provided guidance and support. This demonstrated the importance of coordination and teamwork in their mission. Nobunaga's determination and courage were evident, and her actions were driven by a strong sense of responsibility. Her willingness to take risks and her strategic brilliance were essential assets in their battle against the formidable enemy, which continued to test their skills and determination. Nobunaga got closer to the giant enemy and saw many smaller enemies around it. She knew it was her duty to take care of them and prevent them from spreading further. While she was doing this, she also studied the massive enemy, searching for its weakness. After a while, she identified its vulnerable spot and swiftly attacked. In her excitement and to signal victory to her comrades at the base, she shouted aloud. Everyone back at the base celebrated their success. However, the colossal enemy, despite being wounded, retaliated and inflicted harm on her. This turn of events reminded them that the battle was far from over and that the enemy was still a formidable threat. Nobunagun's courage and determination were evident, but she had to be cautious and ready for the challenges that lay ahead. In this critical moment, Nobunaga found herself bound by an immense, seemingly fluid rope. Helpless and immobilized, she struggled to free herself, but to no avail. The entire base resonated with astonishment and concern for her predicament. Team members rushed to the scene, their faces etched with both shock and curiosity, as they attempted to unravel the mystery of this peculiar confinement. The situation was dire, and all eyes were on the unfolding drama. Nobunaga's fellow E-gene holders were occupied with their assigned duties, their capabilities stretched to their limits in the face of an impending battle. They recognized the urgency of the situation and the need for swift action. Nobunaga, known for her resolve and battle prowess, had often taken charge in dire situations. Now she found herself at the mercy of a formidable and enigmatic force. The base's collective hope and determination centered on her rescue, as her fellow holders worked tirelessly to understand and ultimately dismantle this unique obstacle. As tension hung in the air, the fate of Nobunaga rested on the collective efforts of her comrades. Their unity and determination would prove essential in freeing her from the fluid entanglement and preserving her role as a guardian of humanity. Amid their sacred duty to protect the kingdom's fragile ecosystem, the princess and her trusty companion faced a relentless onslaught from these infantile creatures. Their mission was to prevent these creatures from infiltrating the land. Jack's remarkable weapon, renowned for its razor-sharp edge, allowed him to outpace Princess in the battle against the tiny invaders. However, Sinks, ever loyal, came to her rescue, reinforcing their unity. Initially, all guardians had been paired, including the cautious John Hunter and the resolute Gandhi. Hunter initially quivered with fear, causing him to hesitate in the face of the creatures. Yet Gandhi's unwavering encouragement rekindled his bravery, reaffirming the importance of unity in the face of adversity. Nobunaga, immobilized and facing a dire situation, received encouraging words from the base to motivate her. Though stranded and seemingly helpless, she displayed remarkable determination. She managed to pull out her AU weapon despite her constrained state and position it on her leg, ready to execute an unpredictable skill. Observing the enemy's angle and the straight alignment of her leg, Nobunaga ingeniously utilized her limb in conjunction with the AU weapon to fire at the approaching threat. Despite her valiant efforts, she couldn't achieve the desired outcome. The colossal object countered her moves by releasing landmines, filling the area with explosive blasts. At that moment, it appeared that her fate was sealed, and the onlookers feared the worst, believing she had been consumed by the bombardment. News of the situation spread rapidly through the city, causing concern among its residents. Among them was Asao, a close friend of Ogura, who had been following the news closely. She sat beside a fellow college student, both aware of Ogura's heroic efforts in Taiwan to protect the villagers. Asao found solace in the knowledge that her friend was capable of standing as a hero against the invaders, determined to safeguard society. The support and faith in Ogura's abilities reassured her amidst the growing tension. Jack continued fighting effortlessly. One of the objects escaped from his wrath and went to attack Gandhi and Hunter, who were inside a cabinet still discussing matters. It was determined to attack Gandhi while neglecting John Hunter. At first, he was even afraid, but when he noticed that the object was determined, he also became determined to find out why. Gandhi shouts for help while in the situation, but the hunter is determined to find the reason. Eventually, he found out the reason from one of the dead objects lying down flat. Amid the chaos of the landmine attack, a previously undetectable signal from Nobunaga reconnected with the base's systems. Astonishingly, she survived the blast due to the gene's protective skills within her. The base personnel were left in awe of her resilience. The commander and Vidok urgently provided instructions, recognizing the critical situation in Upala. However, Nobunaga, still reeling from her ordeal, was reluctant to comply. They knew they needed her to follow their guidance, especially considering the gravity of the situation in Upala. Attempts to communicate with Gandhi, who was in charge there, proved futile, adding to the escalating tension and uncertainty in the midst of the battle. The mysterious origins of the Nightingale mode invoked curiosity among the team. It seemed like a power beyond their understanding, one that held a significant place in their fight against the invasion. To unveil its secrets, the scene takes a gripping flashback to explore the enigmatic history of a figure whose story was deeply entwined with this extraordinary mode, Jack the Ripper. Long ago, Jack the Ripper was not just a name shrouded in infamy, but also a figure of great historical significance. He was a complex individual with powers that surpassed human comprehension. Jack's existence was a testament to the existence of inexplicable forces in the world. In the current battle, Jack found himself wielding a power that was as unpredictable as it was formidable. It was a double-edged sword, one that could be both a savior and a danger. The key to controlling this overwhelming force lay in the extremities of the situation they faced. It was a dire situation where humanity's very survival hung in the balance. Jack's actions were not driven by his own desires or ambitions, but rather by the necessity of safeguarding Nobunagun and preserving the future of humanity. This power was their last resort, the ultimate weapon to counter the invasion forces. As it unfolds, it becomes apparent that this extraordinary power, Nightingale Mode, is more than just a mysterious ability. It's a reflection of the unyielding human spirit that can harness the unimaginable when faced with a critical situation, as was the case in their battle against invasive objects. In a dire moment of the battle, Jack found himself seeking the protection and guidance of Nobunagun. He knew that her chances of success depended on her unique abilities. With unwavering determination, he activated Nightingale Mode, an extraordinary feature that allowed him to pinpoint the precise weaknesses of the relentless enemy forces. The first step was to reach out to their commander for assistance. However, to their dismay, the base's communication signals were nearly non-existent, leaving them with a single, timeless option: the 1888 gene. Nobunagun, equipped with unwavering resolve, connected with the commander through the 1888 gene, seeking a solution to their dire situation. The commander swiftly provided the tactical guidance required, highlighting the critical weak points the forces needed to target. With this information, Jack and Nobunagun embark on a dangerous mission. Together, they broke through the outer shell of their formidable foe and ventured inside, prepared for an intense battle. Simultaneously, their fellow platoon members were engaged in combat against an egg transporter filled with invasive objects, showcasing their unyielding resolve and dedication. As the battle raged on, Jack and Nobunagun navigated the labyrinthine interior of the monstrous object. Their mission was clear: to locate the brain of this destructive entity and obliterate it. Every step they took was shrouded in danger, but their unity and determination propelled them forward. Finally, the moment of triumph arrived. Jack and Nobunagun successfully reached the heart of the enemy and unleashed a devastating blow, obliterating the object's central brain. Simultaneously, the forces battling the egg transporter emerged victorious, swiftly cutting it in two. In the aftermath of their hard-fought victory, the commander eagerly inquired about Nobunagun's well-being, emphasizing the importance of every individual's contribution. With their mission accomplished, the platoon members returned to their respective units, rejoicing in their hard-earned success. After a period of well-deserved rest, they decided to visit Galileo, who was overjoyed to see their safe return. In a moment of respite, Jack and Ogura took the opportunity to express their gratitude to each other and reflect on the complexities of the battlefield. Jack revealed that an inner voice had guided him to save Ogura, illustrating the interconnectedness of their fate in the tumultuous world they found themselves in.